This is my take on an ammo can stove. It was requested that I build this for somebody, and so I built it to their specifications. They wanted the door on the side instead of the end. I made these air holes here with a tray to catch any embers that might fall out of the holes. All the way to the left is open, and then if you tap on this, all the way to the right is closed. I made the hardware out of angle iron material, and so hopefully if the stove ever does need to be replaced, if the ammo can ever needs to be replaced, they can transfer these brackets and the door to a new can with just a couple of common tools like a drill and maybe a saber saw for cutting the hole in the side of the box. I put a spring on the door mechanism so that it wouldn't flop around when the door was open, and that should make it easier to close when they want to do so. All of the hardware is, all of the pop rivets are stainless steel. The glass is held in place by two brackets, and there's a fiberglass gasket material that insulates or seals the glass to the door, and there's enough space all the way around so that this glass can expand, so it shouldn't break. The door itself also has a fiberglass gasket that it seals on. The original gasket for this door was made out of a rubber material, and I replaced that also with a fiberglass door gasket. I made this baffle so that flames couldn't go directly up the exhaust. They would have to travel across the inside of the stove and then come up through this hole. I put a couple of secondary burn baffles in. I'm not sure how well they're going to work, but there's an opening at the bottom of them that allows the cleaner air from underneath the grate to get heated up and then come up the other side of this baffle, and that would make the air hot, and then it would, when coming into contact with the unburnt smoke, it would tend to finalize any burns. I put one on each end, and then I stiffened up the front of the box by also using a heavier angle iron frame to stiffen it. The lady that requested this be made wanted to put it into a closer confinement, and so she asked that 3 of the walls be insulated and also the floor. So there's refractory material, you can see it here in the corner. There's refractory material behind 3 sides and under the false floor. This grate will come out to make easier cleaning. And all of the hardware that I used is the screws that hold everything together are stainless steel also, and they're double nutted so that they won't tend to loosen up when the stove gets hot. The stovepipe that she wanted to use is just an automotive exhaust pipe, and I believe this is a header pipe. It's held into place with stainless steel screws, and there's also fiberglass gasket material underneath that to try to seal it. Like I say, all of these latches, this is also angle iron that I welded together and then, you know, drilled a hole in, and then I welded it to the door. And it's made so that there is some adjustment in here to where if the gasket ever does start to get thinner from compression, it can be tightened up. But I don't know what else to say about this stove. Oh, I forgot to put the baffle in. This baffle is made out of a little bit heavier material, and it just drops into place, and it covers up the refractory materials that are in the corner, that are exposed in the corners. You can see where the gas came up, it was burning pretty clean where it originally came up, but then as it tended to cool a little bit, it left some ash deposits on the pipe. So I don't know that there's going to be any way of eliminating that. The stove will just have to be cleaned. And the wood that I burned was just scrap pine and cedar that I had from other projects. So possibly a hardwood would be better. But okay, I hope I'm going to append a video that I have of this thing actually burning. And you can see that it got the hottest where it wasn't double walled or insulated. This green here is the original paint of the can. And on the sides and the bottom, it's a little bit cooler than where there is no insulation. This was for myself. I kind of doubt that I would use any kind of insulation in here or make it double walled, because well, the reason you have a stove is so that you can get heat out of it, and if you insulate it and the heat goes out the exhaust, it's not doing you any good. Another option would be have this feed into another can that's just used to remove heat from the exhaust. Kind of make it like a double-barreled stove. I could make this so that it was like a double ammo can stove, you know, for use in a tent or whatever. But this is what the lady asked for, so I complied. I don't endorse putting these in vehicles, but whatever she does with it is up to her. I advised her that it's you know, not as safe as propane, but she has a fear of propane, so whatever she does is going to be up to her. This is the first burn, and you can see the paint fumes coming off of the can. And there is some smoke coming out of the chimney, but not an excessive amount, I don't think. And some of that might even be the paint on the inside of the can that's burning off. Open up the door and show you. This galvanized pipe isn't going to be the ultimate flue material. What we'll probably be using is automotive exhaust pipe, because having galvanized metal get hot isn't good. But the smoke's all about gone. And I'll open it back up to show you that the flame is still going. I mostly used really thin wood because I wanted a hot, fast burn to try to take the paint off. So we might be getting into just the embers there now. But it is putting out quite a bit of heat. Even on the sides where they were insulated, it's still too hot to touch. So if she uses this in a tent or whatever, she's going to have to put a baffle in there next to, in between the stove and the tent, to try to keep the heat away from the tent material.